What if staying calm was a skill, not a personality trait? Most people think calmness is something you're born with. But what if it's something you could practice? What if in the chaos of deadlines, traffic, heartbreak, and constant scrolling you could train your mind to be still, not numb but anchored? That's what the Stoics did 2,000 years ago, and it may be exactly what we need today. The world is louder than ever, but your peace doesn't have to be lost. In a time of endless pings, pressures, and people telling you who to be the rarest thing isn't success, it's clarity. Imagine waking up not to panic, but to purpose. Imagine building a mind so steady that even chaos sounds quiet. This isn't fantasy. It's ancient philosophy reborn for modern life. You won't remember most things, but you'll always remember how you lived. Think about it. You won't remember every meeting, every dollar, every argument. But you will remember if you lived honestly, if you loved deeply, if you stayed true to yourself when it was hard. The Stoics knew this. They didn't live for fame or followers. They lived for meaning. And now we have a chance to do the same. A modern reflection on the 12 Stoic lessons through the lens of modern chaos in the rush of modern life, filled with deadlines, digital noise, and emotional burnout. The ancient wisdom of Stoicism feels less like old philosophy and more like a life-saving compass. It doesn't scream at us to be perfect. It doesn't pretend the world isn't cruel or unpredictable. Instead, offers us a way to stay calm within the storm. The 12 lessons you've just read from Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca are not theoretical ideas. They're tools forged in suffering, designed for resilience, meant to be lived. And today, I want to walk you through a deeper reflection on how these ideas are not only relevant, but necessary. Let me tell you a story. Story 1. The Morning Breakdown. Julia was a startup manager, the kind that never really stopped working, even when she was off. Her calendar was back to back. Her phone buzzed even in the shower. And anxiety was her breakfast. She had it all on paper. A good salary, influence. A smart watch to track every step and email. But inside, she was unraveling. One Monday morning, as she stepped out of the train and headed into the glass tower she worked in, her chest tightened. No real danger. And no lion chasing her, just an inbox, a pitch, a deadline. But her body didn't know the difference. She had a panic attack in front of the building she had proudly walked into for 5 years. That afternoon, in her silence, she stumbled onto a Stoic quote. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Epictetus that night. She asked herself the question that became a pivot. What can I actually control? She couldn't control the market crash, the CEO's mood swings, or the fact that some people were just cruel, but she could control her breath, her responses, her schedule. Bit by bit, she started saying no to what was outside her circle of control. She stopped trying to win everyone. She stopped fighting every current. And strangely, by letting go, she gained her calm, her focus, her strength, acceptance, the power. To stay standing, Marcus Aurelius reminds us, to resist what is only makes you suffer twice. This isn't giving up. It's leaning into reality with eyes open. Because life is unpredictable. People will disappoint. Bodies do break. But what if we accepted that instead of fighting it? When you accept what is out of your control, you make space for what is within your reach. You don't stop carrying you. Stop clinging. Mindfulness. Not just for Yogi Seneca didn't have a smartphone, but he understood distraction better than most of us. He wrote about the mind's tendency to race into the past and future, and his remedy was presence, today. We use words like mindfulness, but the Stoics just called it being alive right now. Every time we scroll while eating, or talk while thinking about tomorrow, we miss life. Practice this. Before every meeting, pause and breathe. Notice the chair under you, the tone of the room, the silence. That's Stoic training. Not fancy, just aware. Story 2. The Funeral in the Rain. David, a 42-year-old architect, stood alone under an umbrella. His father had died 3 days earlier, and the funeral was being held in a steady, gray drizzle. Family members were crying, hugging, some whispering. Apologies for not visiting more. David stood still, hands clenched, lost. And then something broke inside him, not from pain, but clarity. His father had always talked about the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius especially. And in that moment, David remembered a line: "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." He realized this was it. Life was fragile, unpredictable, and terrifying. But instead of being crushed by that truth, he was calmed by it. His grief remained, but with it came intention. He started journaling every morning, asking, "What is the most important thing I can do today? Not for legacy, not for perfection, but for honesty." Resilience is built in the fire. Epictetus called adversity a training ground. He didn't sugarcoat suffering, but reframed it. Pain isn't something to manifest away, but to walk through consciously, resiliently. The Stoic doesn't seek comfort. They seek capacity. Every hard thing is a mirror. Will you break, bend, or grow? Your response is your power. No one gets to control your mind without your permission. This isn't a slogan. It's a hard-earned truth. Epictetus reminds us that while life happens to you, how you respond happens within you. Next time someone insults you, cut you off in traffic, ghosted your text, pause. Ask, what virtue do I want to practice right now? Because that's your real strength. Not your schedule or your money, but your ability to respond with wisdom, courage, and temperance. The simplicity of a content life. Seneca warned that chasing desires without restraint leads to misery. You want more, but do you need more? Modern life says, bigger house, better body, faster car. Stoicism whispers, enough is enough. Real peace isn't found in acquiring, but in appreciating. Look around your room. What would you miss if it was gone? That's your answer. Virtue is the real compass. Wisdom, courage, justice, temperance, these aren't just words for marble statues. They're your daily guide. You don't need a perfect life, you need a principled one. Be honest when it's easier to lie. Be calm when anger surges. Be just when vengeance tempts. Be humble when praise knocks. Every day you get to build your character like clay. The question is, will you shape it? Or let life shape it for you? Life is fleeting, use it. Marcus Aurelius watched emperors fall and plague sweep Rome. He didn't despair, he prepared. Today we avoid thinking about death, but the Stoic sees it as a lens to clarify life. Ask yourself, if I had 1 year left, what would I stop doing? What would I start? That answer holds your truth. Gratitude, the Stoic elixir. Gratitude isn't naive, it's radical. Seneca taught that being grateful makes you stronger, not softer. Even on your worst days, there's breath. There's someone you love. There's a sky above you. Gratitude says, I see what's here, not just what's missing. And in that awareness, we regain our footing. Growth is a lifelong discipline. Stoicism doesn't ask you to be finished. It asks you to begin again, to see every mistake as a teacher, every setback as material. You aren't fixed, you're growing, but only if you choose to learn. Read, reflect, ask questions. Fail better. That's how we grow, not by reaching the mountaintop, but by continuing to climb. Final reflection. Stoicism isn't cold, it's clear. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about not being enslaved by them. It's not about rejecting joy, but about understanding the source of peace. You can be modern and stoic, digital and grounded, busy and intentional. The world will spin around you, but you don't have to spin with it. Modern life needs this. In a world that rewards hustle, rage, and outraged stoicism calls you to stillness, clarity, and presence. It's not always popular, but it's always powerful. So start small. Ask yourself each morning, what's in my control today? What virtue can I practice? What matters most? And each night, did I live true? Where can I grow? Because life is short, but it can be deeply lived if you live it on purpose. Start living stoic today. You've heard the lessons. You've walked through the storms of ancient minds. Now the question is simple. What will you do with this wisdom? Don't just nod and move on. Don't let this be another thing you watched and forgot. Let it be a turning point. Start small. Ask one question every morning. What can I control today? Write it down. Breathe it in. Live it fully. And if this message stirred something in you, share it. Not for clicks, but for connection. Someone you know might need this truth today. Subscribe for more grounded wisdom. Comment with the lesson that struck you most. Reflect daily, because Stoicism isn't theory. It's practice. The Stoic PROMISE life won't slow down. People won't always be kind. The world won't get easier. But you can get stronger, wiser, calmer, more complete. Because the Stoic path is not about escaping pain. It's about walking through it with courage and clarity. The calm you seek is already within you. The virtue you admire, you can live it. And the peace you long for, it begins with one breath, one pause, one choice at a time. So go now, not with noise, but with intention. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Let that be your compass. Let this be your beginning. Stay calm. Stay grounded. Stay stoic.